today, Rinpoche completed the explanation of the 37 branches of enlightenment as found in the great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment. Lama Tsongkhapa shows us that these 37 branches, along with the 16 emptinesses and the 6 perfections, are all the basis for the realizations in the tantric vehicle. Okay. Lo pa.
Oh yeah. That what the lari chemo angado kosu den gudwa.
Okay, so
leso. Kasin chibareda.
Leso.
The tabi thought the share of Paris chamber drugi duba la luba and hasheba tarang hata. Paris chamber yiki tumo in this.
Leso.
Haji yoncho domane. Jai kandan hayo kuba jenye jinjong tanje. Nang sanjin de la shebitse. Shindu dang, shangshu sunu dang, doni juru su la. Doni juru la subi Paris chamber
Okay, so once again, we are on page 99 in the English, 355, I believe, in the Tibetan. Rinpoche said it in the Tibetan, so those following will have heard it. So it says, the training and method and wisdom comprising the 6 perfections is, as explained earlier, common to both the mantra and perfection vehicles. For in many of the tantric classics, we find repeated mention of the complete path of the perfections, the 6 perfections, the 37 branches of enlightenment, the 16 emptinesses, etc., in the context of the explanations that the entire celestial mansion and the array of resident deities are the inner qualities of the mind. Therefore, know that all the perfection of wisdom's literature explanations about what is to be adopted and what is to be discarded are comprehensively shared with the mantra vehicle, except in the case of tantric teachings for certain exceptional persons in which they must take the experience of sensory objects of the path and so forth. So here this is showing the common locus between the Sutra and Tantra teachings, which are the repeated mention and practice of the complete path of the perfections. And then those are all listed in, when they say perfections, they're meaning the whole category of perfection of wisdom, teachings, etc. Okay, Diksan.
Well, Tanghaga what the Shaju Shuju, Nenju, Nenjulana, Judici, the Judici, Tai Yen Kanda, and then Halas about the Sukalo, and then Kasogre, Parisima Truth, and Shanshu Sudin, Tony Jurula about the Sukalo, Hada Jaika, Hada. And Lai Jaika Nabashal Jagures. What does one these Amarbe? Yeah.
So what this is saying is that in all of the classes of Tantra, and when we break down the Tantrayana, it's divided into 4 classes. The action Tantra, performance Tantra, yogic Tantra, and highest yogic Tantra. So it's saying that in those classes of Tantra, where we find the celestial mansions and the deities and so forth residing, and the deity, him or herself, in those 4 classes of Tantra, the manifestation is a direct result of the excellent inner qualities of the mind. So when we say posit what those inner qualities are, we would state they are the 6 perfections, the 37 branches of enlightenment, the 16 emptinesses, and so forth.
What the Karsogre, Gigi double Jana, Theatre, Shegun, Sora in Lagos. Gigi Shegun, Sora in Lagos, Shegu Nabashai Mores, Shegun, Sora in Lago. The Shegun, Sora in Lago, running Dembani to Shero, the running Nabashai Mores, running Dembani, Gigi running there. Kundu dembatan to know about to be shero with the running a Nabashai Mores.
Leso.
Running dembani. Ne Shegun running dembani. Sudin Sha Soji, Kusun to Sudin, Shanshu Sudins, Sha Soji, Sonju Sujiman Laba.
37.
Sonju Soji, and the Son to.
38.
Kusun to the Sudin, Sha 샤수도 서버 그것도 수는 샤수도
The Rinpoche, the Gongyal Mebachi, the Jiji, the Lapa, Sumju Sunje, Sundun.
라니인데 바지 샤수도 그것도 수준네 샤수 수준
Okay,
샤수
37.
수준데 샤수도 고송도 수준이 나바샤 용어레스 샤수 수준데 샤수도 고송도 어딘 손주 소리 말해서 손주 수준
Okay.
수준이 나바샤 용어레스
Then Lapa Yomar Goson Tu.
라바는 샤수에서도 라바 손주 소리에 들어다 손주 소리
Ale,
손주
Sunje,
소리
38.
저걸로 손고 손토 손자는 손주 수준 말이야
Okay, that's it.
샤수 수준도 어디
That's it.
나바샤 용어레스
So, so when we look at the class of Tantra, the highest yogic Tantra, and the practice of Yamantaka, within the Yamantaka's body and so forth, we find that it's actually a manifestation and symbolic of certain things. So the two horns are symbolic of the two truths, the conventional truth and ultimate truth. There are 38. I'm not as familiar with this Tantra. It's not one I practice, so if I make any mistakes, I apologize. 38 hands, and then the 37 branches of enlightenment are symbolic and found within the body, speech, and mind of Yamantaka. So Gosun Tu Shanchu Sundu.
샤수도 고송도 수준네 샤수 수준 그 나바샤
Okay, so the 30. Okay, so the body, speech, and mind have these 37 aspects of enlightenment in the Yamantaka.
딱 이제
Of body, speech, and mind.
샤주루요 샤주 에제 윤제 주루 주루도 돈이 주루데 어디 샤주루 나바샤 용어레스
Gamba.
가마 주루로
Okay, so there are-
에제 윤제 주루로
So there are 16 legs, bases of Yamantaka, and these stand for the 16 emptinesses.
뭐다도 그걸로 이제 그 어디 라니 대만이가 나와샤바이나 대만이 또 싫어데 라니게 니랭이 해지시제에서 어디 도반도다
So when we look at the two horns, are symbolic, are manifestations rather. Symbolic, but actually what we're saying is they are manifested from these things. So the wisdom realizing the two truths of conventional and ultimate truth manifests these two horns. So does this wisdom realizing the two truths become a substantial cause or a cooperative condition for these horns on the head of Yamantaka?
다 샤주르는 돈이 주루스 돈이 주루잖아 돈이 주루 따바로데 샤주르 나바샤와 인세 지고 말아 돈이도 싫어 주루데 샤주르 나바샤와
So when we say the 16 emptinesses, we can't say that's actually just a kind of shortened way of saying it because emptiness itself would be permanent. So if we're saying 16 emptinesses, we're saying 16 categories of things that are permanent. So how is it possible that we're saying that a leg is a manifestation of something permanent? It doesn't logically make sense. So what the 16 emptinesses are referring to are the 16 wisdoms realizing emptinesses. So there's the wisdoms realizing these 16 emptinesses. So this is what the legs or the basis of Yamantaka are manifestations of.
어제 다 샤슈 수준도 가정가서 어떤 대반이 와서 이제 양답에 봉화시 주주지 가마시 오봉가 동가 샤슈연라도 바비연라 나연라 제마르베 어제 대세 듄도와 듄은 당가서 안에 대반이 와서 이제 신사버려 양답 봉화시 신사버려 오봉가 동가 주주지 가마 신사버려 다들이 팔랑연라 제마르베 바빌론라지 바빌론라지도 어디 다 지단 버차 몸은 요아데 베징 신은 워데는 되는 도와서 베징게 신은들 데세 뒤발랑 하다 졸레스 데세 뒤바 팔랑연라도 말베 팔랑연라이나 바빌론이 차 Shanchu yun la yin na pabi lang yin bichao, suju lang yu ma
Ale
de.
Shanchu Lan Yina?
Shanchu yun la yin na palang yin bichao.
Ale Shanchu Yenla. Ale.
Shanchu yun la yin na palang yin bichao. Ane, tene kasa palang yun la jibu gongru la palang yin bichao no da. Shanchu yun la zang palang yun la yin bide palang shadar jaga duwa. Tonglang yulang, tonglang gulang, tonglang yin chin ne. Ma du tonglang tang yulang me shil ma duwa.
Leso.
What the inside?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
paranga.
Leso. Okay, so previously we went over the various points that are made in here about the 16 emptinesses and the 6 perfections, and currently we're going over the 37 aspects of enlightenment, or 37 branches of enlightenment. Branches are really more accurate because Yenla is a branch, like on a tree. So the 37 branches of enlightenment. And those 37 are divided into 7 different categories. So the first category are the 4 close placements of mindfulness. The second category are the 4 perfect abandonments. The third category are the 4 legs of magical emanation. The fourth category are the 5 aspects of the faculties, or 5 branches of the faculties. The fifth category are the branches of the strengths. The sixth category are the branches of the branches of enlightenment, branches of the branches of enlightenment. I need to look at that again in English. But aspects of the branches of enlightenment. We've been using aspects. And then aspects of the branches of the path of the nobles. There are 8. So there's 7 aspects of the branches of enlightenment, and then 8 aspects of the branches of the path of the nobles. So there are many books that are written about these 8 superior paths, or the 8 branches of the path of the nobles. So we are going to use Panchen Sonandrapa's general meaning of perfection to explain these. But again, Rinpoche said there are many books that it's written in. So what does this mean? So if it is an aspect of branches of the path of the nobles, it's necessarily a superior path. So this word noble is just a chosen translation of superior. So we could say aspects of the branches of the path of superiors. So it just depends on how you want to translate it. Noble is the chosen for the 4 noble truths. Just as a translator's note, it's the same exact word. Superior, 4 superior truths, 4 noble truths. So the noble is just the chosen word for Arya, making it related to Arya, which is superior. So I use the word superior, but this word noble is what is chosen here. So just realize that a lot of times when you're reading something, it's just the translation and the translator's choice of word that might make it seem like you don't understand it. It might have nothing to do with your reading or your skill set. It might just be a translator has chosen a different word to use that you're not familiar with for the same exact thing that you're familiar with a different word being used. So just be aware of that when you're reading things, that a lot of time it's just an unestablished lexicon that makes it difficult to understand. So these 8 branches, in this case, are necessarily superior pathways, are related to Aryas, are related to superiors. And if it's an enlightened, if it's a branch of enlightenment, so going back to the one before this, it's necessarily a superior pathway. And if it's a branch of the path of noble, it's necessarily a noble pathway or a superior pathway. So these...
Taja number so Amitabha Khan Jong, Amitabha Yobame Marba. Yobame said on number 2, Tajin Bat, Santen Bas. What in Khan Jong, Tajin Cheage, Chetung Hadra Chidan, and Santemba, Munja, Gurini, Janambal.
That's so.
Santemba, the Tajin Bas, Amitabha Khan Jong, Tajin Cheada. And Amitabha Khan Jong, and then Sante Munja, Santemba, Mantrition.
Leso.
인도 왔다 그 걸로 네 저요 밤에도 왔대 샤슈 수준 당
le.
로도 그 걸로 요 밤에 답이 신당 사이 나바셔선 당
Leso.
was
So in the Chinese tradition, we find the practice of Amitabha and the two different divisions of practices of the concentrators or meditators, and then the practitioners of Pure Land. So we have these two different divisions within that tradition. And when we look at Amitabha and we look at the Pure Land itself, we'd say that it's exactly the same in terms of explanation, that the Pure Land and Amitabha is a manifestation of these 37 branches of enlightenment, 6 perfections, 16 emptinesses, etc. So we would say that this mantric recitation of Amitabha that takes place in the Chinese tradition and the practices of these two, meditation and Pure Land, are manifestations of the same thing as the varying classes of Tantra, because it's a mantra that we're reciting, it's mantrayana, therefore it is a manifestation as well.
따따리가 저 팔랑이라 저러 때상가 뜨가 빠랑가
I forgot one thing. Rinpoche's English is getting so good, he's recognizing when I forget things, which is wonderful. So in the mantra, in the Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge, we have, let me try that again. In the Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge, there's a mantra that's embedded within it that says, Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangati Buddhi Soha. And this mantra implicitly is referring to the 5 pathways. So in the terms of Mahayana pathways, they're named the same for Hinayana or Mahayana, but in this case we're speaking of Mahayana. Pathways are the path of accumulation, path of preparation, the path of seeing, path of meditation, and the path of no more learning. So the mantra that we see in the Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge implicitly refers to that in the way that the first gate, Teata Om Gate, refers to the path of accumulation. Teata Om Gate Gate, the second gate refers to the path of preparation. Paragate refers to the path of seeing. Parasamgate refers to the path of meditation. And Bodhisoha refers to the path of no more learning. So the superior paths, or the noble paths, are those pathways which are from the path of seeing on up. So the noble pathways are the path of seeing, meditation, no more learning, the Buddha grounds. Anything below that, preparation or accumulation, are ordinary pathways, which are not superior or noble pathways. So this is the line of demarcation between noble and not. That is the path of seeing. Gonga Mepachik?
다 팔랑이라들로 어디 사지 두디기도 다 팔랑이 배신선을 잡에 대신 준발랑 하다 둘레 다시 팔랑이라 미바쇼스나 팔랑이라 가를 미고 팔랑이라 가시고 스티베이나 미바네 파비 담바지부터 팔랑이라 미바인베제 동안데바도 꾸주데바 고데랑데 지부터 팔랑이라 미바레스
Leso. Okay.
팔랑이라 그때 공고로다
Leso.
야
So this, now going to the main category, the 8 aspects of the branches of the path of superiors, it will be explained in the general meaning of perfection in the same way as the prior branches. So meaning there will be 6 categories to explain it. So when we're looking at these 6 categories, so just the 6 again are object of observation, nature or definition, accompanier, explanation of meditation, need for meditation, and the meaning of words, or meaning of the sounds, literally. So these are the 6 categories, beginning with object of observation. So the first category, which is the object of observation for the 8 aspects of the branches of the path of superiors, is, and so it says in the Parshin Chittun, a general meaning of perfection, it's the Papi Dembaji. So the object of observation of this superior path is this 4 superior truths. So the 4 superior truths is the object of observation. So the noble or superior truth of suffering, the superior truth of origin, the superior truth of cessation, and the superior truth of path. These superior truths are the object of observation of the 8 aspects of the branches of the path of superiors. So that's the first category, object of observation. I just want to check it again. Papi Demaji. Okay, Dikson.
다 존재 미식 줄 미식으로다. 주도 존재 미식 매바인스. 미식 주 시고요다. 주도 존재 미식 매바인스 라고로다.
So when we,
전나지 팔랑연락이 덴바지 시고요다. 덴바지 팔랑연락 매바레스.
So how do we explain object of observation? The object of observation, for instance, of an eye consciousness is form. So this is the observed object of an eye consciousness. It would be form. So in this case, you can translate it either way, object of observation or observed object. So what is the observed object of the aspects of the branches of the path of superiors? The observed object, but in this case, objects are the 4 superior truths, the truth of suffering, origin, cessation, and path. It's the same as what is the object of observed object or the object of observation for an eye consciousness. It's form. So this is what it means. This is what a superior is observing. So the next category is nature or definition.
유란당 총랑매 실문도와 팔랑이 미쳐서도 그래 통랑의 지지 냐자도 두비 따와대 제도도 수수도비 싫어지 죄바시비 추러的난제네 양답이 따와당스 팔랑이라 지그는 담부대 양답이 따와서들레스 양답이 따와서야돼 통랑의 지지 냐자도 두비 따와스 통랑의 시 냐자 두비 따와 다간데 오만 단조에나 냐자 두비 따와 돈이 말베 돈이 두고로다 냐자도 통랑 냐자 공랑 냐자 두게 냐자도 돈이 원송 두고로 냐자 돈이 원송 두 돈이 원송 두 제토 송줄래 야
딕선
통랑의 제지 냐자도 두비 따와데 냐자 두비 따와데 통랑의 제지 돈이를 냐바자비 냐자 제지 유드주비 따와데 제토도 수수두비 싫어지 죄베시비 추러도 난제네 양답이 따와레스 양답이 따와
Listen.
팔랑연라 지금은 담에 양답이 따와드레스 양답이 따와도 간대자고서나 통랑의 제 냐자 두비 따와데 통랑의 제 냐자 두비 돈이 원송 두비 따와 싫어이로 싫어 따와데 제토도 수수 두비 싫어지 죄바시비 추러도 난제네 양답이 따와 냐자 돈이 원송 두바데 제토도 땡그로 말베 나쁘가 땡그로 수수두비 싫어 추러도 나반지비
Jeto.
양답이 따와스 제토는 돈이 원송 잡이 걸 냐자로 그러다 돈이 원송 두바들 자소나 아니 루사바도 정으로 제토서 그러 제토 니 근데 알아나 진다 말베 냐자데 돈이 원송 두비 니 그러나버지 니야 세운도 제토로 그러다 제토 돈이 원송 두비 거서 냐자레스 돈이 원송 두비 거서 냐자제 근데 냐자래야 라운드 제토 당가 돈이 원송도 또 소냐비 땡거로다 땡바용으로 나쁘가
Not forget. That's
what does it mean that
Jeto. Yabudu.
yeah
So now I just want to slowly talk and look up something very important. So now we get into what the actual definition or nature of this is. So when we look at the definition of it, it has some qualifying features. So it speaks of from the path of seeing on. So it qualifies it saying that this is necessarily, okay, here we go. This is necessarily something that occurs at the path of seeing and on up, and it's a wisdom that arises, that actually is a change of mind. So this is what I'm trying to look up. I'm right here. It's a change, this change of mind. I want to see how that's translated by Hopkins. Jetopa, subsequent attainment. Okay, all right, so subsequent attainment. So it's the subsequent attainment is what occurs after this wisdom. So it's a subsequent attainment that occurs from the path of seeing on up, which is a meditative equipoise, which is a meditative equipoise which thoroughly understand and sees the truths, the four truths. So it's a meditative equipoise from the path of seeing on up that is a wisdom which produces a subsequent attainment, meaning that once you have this path of seeing, your mind changes. It's a new mind. So Rinpoche said, like, when you wake up, going from dream state to awake state, there's a new mind that's taking place when that occurs. So he compared it to that. So this subsequent attainment is this new mind that occurs after this wisdom has occurred. After this wisdom has occurred at the path of seeing. So it's an individual realized wisdom. So it's its own kind of individual realized wisdom that takes place from this meditative equipoise, from the path of seeing on up. So it's not meaning only the path of seeing, just as a translator's note. It means that's where it begins, because you see emptiness multiple times. So it's where it begins, this superior path that observes through superior eyes, if you will, these four truths. That's it. So we have a namsha, and a meditative equipoise, which is this subsequent attainment is this new mind that occurs when the wisdom occurs at the path of seeing, and it observes these four truths. And then observes them, and then it says that there are 8 aspects of the Eightfold Noble Paths. Diksun. So it's a view. Yul Yuchen? So in Madhyamaka, when we look at view, so here we're specifically speaking of the middle way view, so specifically middle way consequence view, Madhyamika Prasangika. So when we divide Yul dan Yuchen, the Yanjasuranang. So we can. The indicate kandre is the abuzu tsanlodang. Yul Chen. Okay, so the object. So when we look at view, we can divide view into 2 categories. I believe it's object and known object. So the object is observed or known object, because it's not mipa. It's similar though. Chen means to know. Yul is object. So the first is yul, which is emptiness. That's the object. And then the known, what is known is the wisdom the known object is the wisdom realizing emptiness. So that's what is known. So the object itself is emptiness. What is known is the wisdom realizing emptiness. So this, again, is according to the middle way consequence school. So it is this wisdom realizes the object. What is the object? The object is emptiness. So it is the wisdom realizing emptiness. That wisdom realizing emptiness occurs at the path of seeing. One becomes a superior, and that is when these aspects of the Arya paths begin, and the analysis, the pure analysis of the Four Noble Truths begins. Digsung. Ngay sampa the
Yang tabi tawa, yang tabi tuba ta nipa ro, nipa. Nipa nyaja tubi, yang tabi tuba shuo sana, nyaja tubi tawa te, jeto tu shen la, tuanba shibi nga kuna hongje chi tuba te, yang tabi tuba res. Nyaja ta toni ngonsung tubi, nyaja kosu toni tugo ro ta. Ane, nyaja le langsa di shen le nga, nyaja toni tu sunsa, shen shek ro ta. What this month marbe nyaja to be tawa de jeto de jen la tumba shebi nga kun no hoje chis nga kun no hoje ji tuba de tuba ne ata bi tuba tas nyaja to be tawa de jeto de jen do ro ta jen la tumba nga to she ro ma to nga to ma shin she to ma ro ta jen la tumba shebi nga kun ne hoje ji tuba Golong
dupa sena?
Golong dupa se ta nga nyaja toni du stu yoare ta jeto to nga nyaja toni ngosung dupa te shen le she gu ndo nya be sang lu jyo.
Ale,
dupa
wish.
Nga kun no je dupa.
Okay, so this nyansha dopi dawa.
Nyaja dupi dawa te jeto de jen la tumba she was. Nyaja toni ngosung tu du ane jeto de jen ga toni ngosung tu sun jen she gro ta. She du nga ne she gro. Nga kun no je kulung ju gu gro. Tuba ju gu gro te ya da bi tuba res.
Yanda bi dopa na. And then did Jawa gare ale de ngo gare shene de.
Ya da bi tubi ngo do ya da bi tubi. Ya da bi tubi ngo tres ya da bi tawa de jeto de jen la tumba she bi nga kun no je tuba de ya da bi tuba se res.
Ale de kanga ngo Rinpoche.
Ngo je.
Ale kanga the sheda je.
Pala la je.
Ale.
Ngo je ja gu do.
Ale. Okay, gongyo mepechi. Ngo je. Okay, so because there are 8 superior paths, there are going to be 8 divisions or definitions. So there's going to be 8 divisions within this category. I didn't know that because it doesn't say there are 8. It just started. So I just started reading as if it was a definition, and now I'm finding from Rinpoche that there are 8. So let me just look at this again, knowing that, and it doesn't change anything I've translated. All it means is that what I translated is the first nature. So where I see, I get it. Let's go. Dong. Okay. So that's the first category. It's this wisdom. Yeah, this to properly translate this would take quite some time. So just anybody who's following along, we're talking pages to get through this of just pure translation of the text. And it starts to get pretty subtle in here, and I just I'm going to do the best I can with kind of the course outline of it, but it's nowhere near complete, just because I'm looking at the base, and there's so many words in here that I don't know and require a dictionary, or translation requires, when you do something like this, a lot of work with dictionaries, multiple dictionaries, and so forth. So I just don't want to. I want to do it its justice, but let people know that I'm not if I'm not. Okay. So this first category was just as explained. It's the subsequent attainment that occurs after this wisdom realizing emptiness at this path of seeing. And these are all going to be different, and they all look very similar to the reed. That's why they're subtle. So I don't know how clearly I'll be able to differentiate them. Maybe we'll go over them again. I'm not sure. Namje. Okay, Nyamsha, Dudopi,
내가
Da.
또 비타와도 다
so it's a
돈이 원송 또 비고서 돈이 또 되어와. 다 이제 젠을 시그러든가. 나그는 시그러다. 그래서 시그러다. 나그는 하지 또바데 야다비 또바레스. 또바데 다른 데는 쉐리 또바 동원송세야 또바데 인사래. 네, 또바도 쥐바세야 또바데 인사래.
So that
또바도
within this,
쥐바세.
then Golung, the
나그는 하지 또바러로. 또바도 다른 데는 쉐리라 또바세야 되다. 아니 또다 쥐바 진시니 또바도 쥐바세야 또바드레스. 또쥐니스. 또바서나 and will roron juding sanlujil toba lagre si sabajen juding jila joba samar to no joba tinshi nis toba sanga de will zimbi naba jugres joba de shibi naba juwa jijin toba wo de menwa toba.
So the second category has to do with the motivation behind wanting to attain this. So in order to have a subsequent attainment, in order to have this realization, there has to be a desire or a wish to have this realization. So this second category is, let me see. Finally, so it's through thought. So the first is view. All right, so this is an aid here. So when we look at this first category, it has to do with view. When we're looking at the Eightfold Path, correct view, correct. So the first has to do with view, dawa. Okay, the second has to do with thought. So that the motivation. All right, so it's starting to make sense. So you have multiple things, you can make it make sense. So then the second deals with the motivation. So this is the thought, the motivation behind this actual having the realization. Okay, then sumba nga. Speech. Dope.
Sumba ngali naba tabi chemba de, yang tabi nga res. 나를 나바다 비자 나게 준 참아치수 나치지에 말이야 나치지 준 것도 준 다베스 나게 레 나바다 나게 레준 참아치수 나치지도 말이야 준 다베시 쳔바데 네 야다비 나레스
So the next
야다비 나 쳔바 랑을 자고도와 근데 나 인실로서 나 자이고 말이야 나게 레 나바다비 쳔바데 야다비 나인스 나레 나바다비 쳔바드 주지 야다비 나인바다 되로 나인바다 자인바다 쳔바 마인바다 쳔바드스고도 쳔바데 야다비 나레스 나마이 야다비 나이 나마이 야다비 나이는 나이 맞아 나마이 드소 마이 베지 랑 임베시 셰바 임베시 어디서
the understanding ngetsapa the understanding
야다비 나 송바 야다비 나 말베 야다비 나든 나 자주요 말레스 나레 나바다비 쳔바드 야다비 나 자고레스 나레 나바다비 쳔바스나 랑루 건드로 쳔바 있는 라인 비자베지
is
쳔바 있는 라인 비자 라인은 셰바 임 아자
lion a sheba imbi chop chop lion a sheba imbi chop
라인은 셰바 임 비자나 아는 하고 줄리 주 셰바 임 받았어
nai julu
하고 주민류 주 셰바 임 받아 라인 베지 요새 방가서 어떤 줘야 도다
okay, so the next category deals with speech. When we look at non-virtues of the speech, there are four. There is lying, harsh words, divisive speech, and gossip. So these are the four different non-virtues of the speech. So this deals with correct speech. This deals with knowing the correct activity of the speech. So a superior's knowing. So when we look at, Rinpoche said knower, and let's see, there's something here that is synonymous.
야 답이 가로 되시다 많이 조인로 되다데. 어디 다도 오마나 주베 조인
It's not
서고도
helping.
참 나이
Just more
셰바이.
information.
야 답이 가.
Okay. Tanda agenda lagadu. That's
Yeah.
okay. I was talking about something completely different. So, hold on one second. Let me just get back to where I was. This speech is what is known. The correct speech is what is known at this point. So this is the focus, the correct speech. So going back to the beginning, the view is the first. The second is thought. The third is speech. So the correct motivation, the thought. Now we get onto the correct speech itself and abstention from incorrect. I really want to look Yandaping. I'd love to look this up. I don't think I'm going to have time to. But there is, let's go. Yandaping, the dictionary.
Yandaping adrosan ngale nabatabi chembadis. Ngale nabatabi chembas in long control long. Ngale nabatabi chembade. Ngagi le pombe chembade yatabi ngares. Ngagi le nabatabi chembaju yatabi nga imbata. Nga imbatasna mai logudo. Yatabi nga imbi chaba majo. Nga ina zo ingubale te zo mai chaba imbeje.
Then Yandaping nga Zuyin?
Yatabi nga de zo insi chaba in logudo.
Shebayin.
Ngagi le nabatabi chembade yatabi nga dans. Ngale nabatabi chembas in the long control. Ngagi le nabatabi chembaju long ai de zo guro.
So if it is a correct knower, it is necessarily a path. So when we're putting knower, we know knower, that is necessarily, if it's correct knower, it's necessarily path. So when we say correct knower of speech, then we're speaking of a pathway of correct speech. So this knower of speech is a pathway of speech. So when we're using these words, correct knower is necessarily, Rinpoche is saying, is always a path. So it looks like the word for true self. Of course, it's not in the dictionary. Okay, so Yandaping nga is correct speech. Correct speech is Yandaping nga shebayin. Is consciousness. Is consciousness. So correct speech is consciousness. Yandaping sheba yinde? Because it is a knower. Okay, so correct speech is consciousness because it is a knower. So this correct speech here, correct knower is necessarily a path. So it says the third of the 8 paths which constitute the this is incorrect. This is a dictionary that went out before it had been edited. So all the completely edited. So all the students have edited all of these things in here. And sometimes I'll read something and it'll say, "That's not right, teacher." So this is an unfinished version of a dictionary that isn't published yet. So knower. If it isn't a correct knower is necessarily a path. And here, correct knower is knowing correctly the speech. So what is correct? What is, in this case of the third category, what is known correctly? Speech is known correctly. The second category, thought is known correctly, or motivation is known correctly. First category, view is known correctly. So just tracing it back and using the kind of consistent vocabulary, that's what is meant. So category number 3, the definition is this speech, which is a correct speech, meaning that it is known correctly. It is necessarily a pathway, a superior pathway of speech, which is correct.
Ngagili nabatabi chembade 양답이 가
Lu.
다 르지레 나바다비셔 르지레 르주고는 수주바 마진발렘바 마잠바시바 로인스고르바 어디는 이제
Okay,
말바
this is all making sense.
르지레
now.
나바다비 쳔바데 양답이 타레스 양답이 타 르지레 나바다비 쳔바송도 시발 곤르로다 쳔바데 양답이 레지 타레스
Okay.
양답이 레지 타 르레 나바다 나레 나바다바 르레 나바다바 르질 나바다비 쳔바데 양답이 레지 타레스 양답이 레지 타 레지 타 예스
Luji le nampa da.
룡아니기 레나바다비 쳔바데 양답이 소화레스 양답이 소화 다 본자가 찬자도 너 본자 르질 나게레 나바다비 쳔바데 양답이 나 르레 나바다비 쳔바데 양답이 레지 타 룡아니기 레나바다비 쳔바데 양답이 소화
Then the Luji le nampa dapi chemba the yandapi
르질레 나바다비 쳔바 르질
dang.
소주바 마지발레 마잠바 쇼바 주마르바 지마르바
Lu
what
ngai the jipa lu ngai ni nikile the jipa rinpoche
니
ngapa rather ngapa tambo dawa nipa gulung sumba nga jipa le
레지 나바 소화로 양답이 소화
sorwa ngapa sorwa
양답이 소화
livelihood.
영아니길레 나바다베 쳔바데 양답이
Rinpoche sorwa yomare kakare
소화세도 당아주 소화 따뉴 더와 동에 따뉴세도 소화되는
알레.
뭐
Okay. So the next deals with action of the body. So correct knower of action of the body. Correct knower of conclusion of actions, maybe, of a consequence of action. So, and when we look at the body itself, there is killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. These are the negativities of the body. So it's a correct knower of what is correct conclusion of actions or correct action. So this is what number 4 would refer to. And then number 5, it says livelihood here, but here it says lunga niki le. So something which is both speech and body, karma which is both speech and, that doesn't make any sense, but it's lunga niki le. The nika yimba mu yurabe.
르가니길레 송도 르질레 본 나글레 니가 본비 쳔바데 양답이 소화레스 르가니길레 나바다비 쳔바데스
So correct livelihood. I see. It's a different sorwa. I see. Okay. Just my hearing. It sounds exactly like the same word, but it's a different word. So correct livelihood is what this is referring to. So it's when it's knowing, correctly knowing the action which is both body and speech. So it says lunga niki le. Lunga niki le shosena?
다 르질레 나바송 나게 나바시 말베 어디 지가 르질레 나바송 나게 나바시 본비 네 쳔바데 네 양답이 소화레스 양답이 소화
Okay, so right livelihood, Rinpoche is saying, is knowing the correct livelihood is knowing how to abandon the 3 negativities of the body and 4 negativities of the speech. So that's what's meant here by correct livelihood. It's correct livelihood is correctly knowing both those of body and speech. So those of are referring to abandonments. What are abandonments of the body and speech? 3 of the body, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. 4 of the speech, lying, harsh words, divisive speech, gossip. So these are the abandonments. So the correct livelihood is defined as that. Okay, Deekson?
영안이기 레나바타비 쳔바데 양타비 초아인스 초아 도와도 동에도 다뉴세 초아 아이 초아 헤비빌리 너드빌리즈 라우마르베 초아 아이미 영안이기 레나바타비 쳔바데 양타비 초아인바다 헤비빌리다 사비빌리 도와서 지바 라보 아이.
So when we look at feelings of suffering and feelings of happiness, is it similar to... I'm going to have to look something up. We're taking a break right now, so I'll be able to clarify it once I look something up. So feeling of happiness and feeling of suffering, then
어떤 소화스러워. 령안이기 레나바타비 쳔바데 양타비 초아레스 초아 힘바다 헤비빌리 아이 너드빌리 아이.
Okay, so this word that we're for livelihood is a similar word to feelings. So is it happy feeling? Is it suffering feeling? So when we're saying, is this correct understanding of both body and speech, parentheses, the abandonments, is this correct livelihood a feeling? And if it's a feeling, is it happy feeling, suffering feeling, or neutral feeling? So I guess big debates occur. Rinpoche, Jupa.
초아서이나 초아도와다 다뉴 야고마데 사브니빌리 히마데.
So when we see this word of feeling, it's interesting. I don't know why they use livelihood if the word is feeling. So I've got to look into this. But when we look at the word feeling, it has divisions, 3. Happy feeling, suffering feeling, and equal feeling, neutral. So which among these does it fall into? So we know that suffering feeling, it can't, because there's this suffering feeling of tactile, this suffering feeling is not occurring at this stage any longer. So that's why debate takes place over the word choice. Okay, so we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. I want to look up something anyway.
Rinpoche.
So before we took a break, we were going over the difference between this word for livelihood and the word for feeling. And there's a debate that takes place, because when you put the word for feeling into different tenses, the spelling in Tibetan looks like the spelling for livelihood. So the debate then starts to occur. If it's a feeling, are these 2 words related? And basically, you'd have to decide. But as a translator's note, basically what happens is in the different tenses of feeling, it looks like this word. It's 2 different words that are being used. This word for livelihood is meant to mean livelihood here. Feeling is a different word. It just happens to, in the tenses, turn into what looks like this word. That's what I've been able to deduce at break, so I just wanted to clarify, because it wasn't making any sense whatsoever why we were talking about feelings related to this, and just to clarify what that was. Tu Chenrezig Rinpoche, Selpa Chasu.
봉자들라 통보도 고분이에요 말이야. 통이 봉자, 통랑 봉자, 공랑 본자니
Ale.
네
Abandonment.
통랑 본자 다그 댄진 군다다 주sel라 된 데버드반지 댄진 군다다 녀몽 군다도 수인라 그래 그래서 통랑 고스 본드레스 통봉 다 공랑 대실이야 다 댄진 해지 주sel라 마트베 댄진 해지다 단진 해지라 소바 그래서 그걸로 공봉레스 공봉 공랑 본자 공봉 본발라 주 준주스 공봉봉라 주 준주데 양답이 좋아게 모자는 일 양답이 좋아 양답이 좋아하는 준주이 미쳐선 되고 다 좋아 준주세 인사 좋아
So at Sendru Drapaldu.
공봉봉발라 주 준주데 준주스 준주제로다 준주세 양답이 좋아래서 양답이 좋아
Then Rinpoche, the Tompon Yomare. Golang.
공봉스도
Golam. Okay. So the next is number 6, which is effort, correct effort. And it says that abandonments at the path of meditation. So there are various abandonments that take place throughout the pathways. You have the coarse afflictions that are abandoned at the path of seeing, and those are the artificial negativities, and then the natural negativities begin to be negated and gotten rid of at the other as you go through the rest of the pathways. So here this is specifically talking about the abandonments. The true Rinpoche indicate true tsundru.
공봉봉발라 주 준주
True. They got
좋아서 정확한 글을 줘 준주데 기샤라 가부여 근질래 준주로 정확한 글을 줘오스 기샤와를 가부여 근질 생질 생주질라 준주라 그래서 준주
joyous.
준주 말이야
Maybe
정확한
joyous.
글을 줘오스
Okay, so it's
기샤와를 줘
the joyous effort. So this is joyous effort. It's a correct joyous effort that abandons those things in the path of meditation, the abandonments. So that's basically what because we have abandonments of the path of meditation, and then we have this correct effort, joyous effort. That's it.
당아바지 조반들에도
drupa.
신내 재미봐 메제반진비 템바네 하다비 템바레스
Did Dunba Rinpoche.
신내 재미봐
Shine.
신내 재미봐 다 신내 다 돈이 공개나다 랑가레나 공들래 네 어디 미바주로 할메네 공부 요아레 돈이를 미는 공부 요아레 되네 담으로 공부 요로다 신내 그 미바데 네 메제비 템바들래 양다비 템바로 그래스 신내 재미봐 메제반제 신내 하공비 신내 돈이 공비 신내 언네 마다보 공비 신내 대지마다 주도 공비 신내 대지 공비 신내 뭐뭐 용으로다 신내 재미봐 메제비 템바네 양다비 템바단스 템바세 나파가르세 말베 야 템바
So the next is mindfulness, and specifically related to not forgetting the instruction. So the word for mindfulness is correct mindfulness. So it's a correct mindfulness, and you're being mindful of not forgetting the object of observation of your calm abiding. So there are many different objects of observation of calm abiding, shine. There is Four Noble Truths and emptiness and impermanence and the deity and so forth. So there are many objects of observation of calm abiding. So it's saying here that it's being mindful of the object of observation, meaning not forgetting what one is supposed to be relying on. The Dunba. Then a Jepa?
다 제바 템베 좀 유라自己도 냐반 주비 띵엔진에 안타비 띵엔진 베지 템베 좀 유다 등가서 돈이 산단 돈이 마제바지 된도요나 근데 전도 마지바 마지바 전도 예비 돈이들 쓰지도 냐봐 잡아. 덴바지 마지비 네 전비 전비 덴바지들 쓰지도 냐봐 잡아. 던다면 뭐 자는 거로다. 사 전비 유들 쓰지도 냐봐 잡아. 전비 종유라 쓰지도 냐봐 주의 딩한지데 하다비 딩한지레스. 하다비 딩한지나 딩한지 참 세븐도 어디.
So, just I want to translate something. So, the last one deals with meditative stabilization. And if it is a correct or single-pointed concentration, if it is a correct yandapi tinganziyina, yanjasruna?
딩한지 미쳐서 딩한지 지금 율 내되게 쉐바질 딩한지서 말봐 딩한지 율 내되게 때문에 되게 실리지 삼주질라 딩한지.
So single-pointed concentration is about holding the object, holding that one object. So if it is a correct single-pointed concentration, it's single-pointed concentration, or it's a calm abiding. So it's saying here, it's a meditative stabilization during the pure path. Yola se chik du nyampar. That se chik du nyampar. Jembe zonwe yul la se chik du nyampar. They don't agare Rinpoche.
다 대비 좀 돈이 되지 손이 대두에나 근데 대두에 돈이들 쓰지 냐봐 잡아 어디 띵 쉐바들 띵한지라고 띵한지 야다비 띵한지레스.
So this correct concentration is where you're holding the object correctly, and Rinpoche is saying specifically here, this is speaking of emptiness. So the object, holding the object correctly is emptiness, and this is meditative stabilization in the pure path. And in this commentary, Haribhadra commentary, it says of definite deliverance. I don't know if it says that in here, but I don't know the word for that, so I'm only reading it because I know this is correctly translated to okay, Diksa.
팔랑연라 제대로 팔랑연라 제 너무 양답이 타와 말이야. 양답이 타와지. 네바 양답이 도바지. 양답이 나 송바지.
Leso.
네 양답이 레지타 지바지. 양답이 초와 나바지. 고모모를 쥐 주바지.
Leso. Jamba.
주바지. 신내라 쥐지 마지비 잠바데 양답이 잠바지.
Leso.
근데 대비는 유라 찌지 냐바주비 땡한지 나다베 땡한지 팔랑연라지에서 되는도 팔랑연라지.
So the 8 superior paths in summary are the correct path of view, the correct path of thought, the correct path of speech, the correct path of conclusion of actions, the correct path of livelihood, the correct path of effort, the correct path of mindfulness, and the correct path of meditative stabilization, or single-pointed concentration. So these are the 8 superior pathways, branches of the superior pathways. 8 branches of superior pathways. So these 8 pathways are shared by all of the vehicles, the hearer vehicle, solitary realizer vehicle, and then the bodhisattva vehicle as well. So it just refers to those paths that are beyond the path of seeing for a hearer, beyond the path of seeing for a solitary realizer, beyond the path of seeing for a bodhisattva. So these our superior paths are those pathways beyond the path of seeing in those 3 vehicles. If it is among the 8-fold superior path, it is palayambichap. It is necessarily a superior path. So if it is among these 8 branches of path, it's necessarily superior path. So necessarily an Arya path from the path of seeing above.
다 대만 영화자바도 팔랑을 쳐버거리. 상주를 쳐버거리. 어때 몸 좋아한 거도
The Yanjusruna?
대만 영화자바다. 근데 팔랑을 무슨 뭐지 교화든지 쳐버거리. 상주를 뭐라 쳐버거리. 그 춘 통그로다.
The Sanchu Sudun? Gatsi
대만 영화자바지. 어떻게 공화지 들으지
Lesso.
어벙가 또가.
Lesso.
상주를 팔랑을
Lesso.
담보 대만 여자도 케모 팔랑을 쳐버거린도 상주를 쳐버거린도 어때 도바요로다.
So when we look at these different 37 aspects, we have the 4 close placements of mindfulness, the 4 perfect abandonments, the 4 aspects of the legs of magical emanation, 5 aspects of the 5 aspects of the faculties, the 5 aspects of the strengths, the 7 branches of enlightenment, and the 8 branches of the path of the nobles. How many of these are superior paths? How many of these are paths of enlightenment? How many of these are ordinary pathways? So there's a lot of debate that takes place when we go to categorize each of these individual branches and figure out what category they go into.
대만 여자인은 팔랑을 임비 차비해서 대만 여자인은 팔랑을 마임비 차비해서 대만 여자 마이나 팔랑을 임비 차비해서 어때 무슨 무지도 배주부터.
So are there 3 permutations, 4 permutations? Are they mutually exclusive or are they synonymous? So the kalang yanjusuna?
대만 여자인은 팔랑을 임비 차비해서 맞춰로다. 대만 여자 돌아오는 여들어.
So if we have a close placement of mindfulness, is it necessarily an Arya path? The palayambi chap, ma chap sho?
통랑
Solam.
대만 여자 통랑지 안 되고.
So we would say, so the close placement of mindfulness on the path of accumulation. All right, let me start this over. So when we do 3 permutations, 4 permutations, we say what pervades which. So now that's the part Rinpoche is doing. The what kangla kangi kyap means what pervades which. So first of all, we're saying if it is a close placement of mindfulness, it's the way I'm trying to read it exactly. If it's a close placement of mindfulness, it's necessarily an Arya path. You would say it does not pervade that. And you say it doesn't pervade it, posit that which is A but not B. So you would say the close placement of mindfulness on the path of accumulation. Close placement of mindfulness on the path of accumulation is a close placement of mindfulness, but it's not an Arya path because it's on the path of accumulation. Then the palan macha, palayina,
팔랑을
the demba machap,
통랑 마임비 차비해서 팔랑을 얘는 통랑 마임비 차비해서 마임비 자는 니가 임비 자고로다. 자무도다. 팔랑을 파빌랑에 제로. 티제 통랑 비지지 되어들다.
Yene the moon nika nipa the tambo
통랑 티제 통랑 다 팔랑지 아유. 여러다.
yene ngatsu
다 좀 고본도 되는 티제 통랑을 내서나 통랑받을 줄 팔랑 여들어다. 티제 통랑이 팔랑이 도와도다 갈래갈래산 단디다.
I think that the subjects might have just changed, but basically, if you're saying if it's a superior path, it's not necessarily a close placement of mindfulness. The Rinpoche palayena, the demba ji yimbi macha sho. The Rinpoche, the
티제 통랑이 나서 티제 통랑.
yene tambo charan the close place of the
팔랑을 얘나 티제 통랑 임비 차비해서 맞으러다. 다 쳔도 다도 어떤 다 도바르다 오늘 도바 오늘 자주도 어떤 개바 몸을 도르다. 개바 소스.
yene the nge la tu yene kali la ganganyen sena konsu dasi dan then seek sarpa kanga zugu then kali la ronan Rinpoche then the the Palang dang Demba Igare Rinpoche. So the
팔랑연라 티베 쳔비 총알 쳐버 가르여스.
Tepa Chembe
연라 녀투 총알 게와로다.
then Techen Yene Tambo, the Palang dang the
티젠 총알
Shanchu
쳐버 가르여.
Sunju Sudun, the Tambo, the Demba Nyawa the Je. Then the Palang Yu Mayan. The Tamba Ewa Je, Nipa Je, Sumba Je, Jipa Nga, the Tambo. The Palang
팔랑연라 대반이를 쳐버 가르여.
the Musum, Muji.
어디 도바도 다갈레칼산 당제다. 또 도바 당데 도바.
Muji. Rebe.
팔랑연라 네
Dembing Ewa Je.
대반이자. 단디그도 어떤 도바.
So we were just, I was just saying that I wanted to slowly go through this debate so we could properly translate it, so you could see how the debate would take place. So you can, when you look at the different words and you put two words together, you can always come up with whether there are 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities, they're mutually exclusive, or they're synonymous. And any 2 words that you put together, they will have among these 4 relationships. So in debate, you're always trying to find out what the relationship is between the 2 objects. So, for instance, if you had a superior path or an Arya path, and then compared it to a close placement of mindfulness, how many possibilities would you have? Are they mutually exclusive? Are they the same? So that's the reason for it. So you would say, if it's a close placement of mindfulness, is it a superior path? No, it's not necessarily a superior path. You could say something which is before that. If it's a superior path, is it a close placement of mindfulness? You could give an object which is a superior. I'm not 100% sure because Rinpoche never went through that second one. So I'm just showing you how it would work. If it is an Arya path, is it necessarily a close placement of mindfulness? If you say no, then you come up with a subject which is a superior path, but not a close placement of mindfulness. Now, is there something which is both? A close placement of mindfulness on the path of seeing would be something which is both, something which is neither a rabbit with horns. So that's the way that this would work. But Rinpoche is saying for you to figure out what you think the permutations are. And then he also gave some other examples. So, Dixon, the Selpo Lason.
다 손바 발랑이 라고 주어된도. 손바 발랑이 라고 주어요데 손바 주어요데 다다다 손바 때문에 센센존나 임베지. 발랑이 라도 손바 때문에 센센존도 발랑이 라고 주어레스.
Oh, Drew.
센센존나 임베지.
So then we go now to the third category. So we've gone over object of observation, we've gone over nature, and now we go over accompanier, going back to the original outline of the Parshin Chittun. Accompanier here, again, is the mind and mental factors. So that's the accompanier in this case.
다 제바 공수된도 발랑이라 공비수. 제바 발랑이라 공비수에데 냐자 두비 따와 제토도 쥐어바시비 새로 공부네. 다 발랑이라 제요로 제 오늘 공수 제도 제. 제바 공수에데 냐자 두비 따와 양답이 따와 너무 말베. 냐자 두비 따와 제토도 쥐어바시비 새로 공부네. 젠비 미비 위라 제지도 냐반주비 쟁은 공비 반나 임베에서 공비 수도 어들에와 냐자도 비타와 제토도 쥐어바시비 새로 공부하서 다음부지 제자 공도 제 팔랑요라 제로 공투 제 다음부 대하다 비타와 냐자도 두비 따와 제토도 쥐어바시비 새로 공부 팔랑요라 제는 다음부터요 되는 제가 공부해요로다 어디 송대래 공부네 잼비 유라서 제바 들어와 tenbi yu la tseji tu nyaba jibi tengen zi gongbi ba na yinbe shesi. Gongsu jeyu waras, jeyu tu palang yola jeyu be shesi. Palang yola jeyu ba na jin, tu gongsu de jeyu waras. Tangbo da nyaja tubi tawa,
Nyansha
jeto tu chuba shi, shiro gongba, palang yola jeyu na tangbo. Teni jeyu na jega wate gongwa yoyadar wata. Nyaja tubi tawa, jeto tu chuba shi, shiro gongba, palang yola jeyu na tangbo gongbi su teres. Teni wate je gongsu je yoyadar wata.
So the next category, so that was the accompanier. The next category is the explanation of meditation. It's quite long. Gombi Nampi Yambichir. Tingenzi Gombi. So the explanation of meditation is a single pointed concentration which has these as their object, meaning these 8 as their object, where there is a wisdom realizing these arise and a subsequent view emerges. So I'm going to just leave it there. So the explanation of meditation is a single pointed concentration where there is focus on the object of these object of observations, where a wisdom arises that creates a subsequent view, or a subsequent view. Well, somebody will have to retranslate all of that, but that's the explanation of meditation. So that's number 4, and then number 5 becomes the need for meditation. Okay. Ngapa?
Ngapa guba rota, guba. Ngapa palang yola gombi guba kari yuwa res. Guba ndere res ta. Guba yude. Tongkong ji lama jeba dans. Tonglang du gong lama jeba dans. Jeba na nyodo zubi che yinbe res. Palang yola gombi guba ndere res. Tonglang ma jeba dans. Jeba na nyodo zubi che res. 통로 마제바 제바다 제바는 녀도 두비 체도 근데 발랑을 공부하러 그것들에스.
So the need for it is to have the meditation on the seeing arise, and that which, but the next part is jepa nam yordu zopi. They done the gare.
마제바 제바다스.
Majepa jepa the selbodu.
나나가 주줄 제어 말어.
Jepa.
제비 체도.
Dene jepa nyanju.
제사도
Leso.
조부야 담을.
Ale, tuche. Okay. So it means that which hasn't arisen, so it's similar to our prayer, that which hasn't arisen may it arise and grow. So it's saying here, what's the reason for this meditation? The reason for this meditation is so that one can have the arisal of the path of seeing, and then once that arisal has taken place of the path of seeing, then it can increase more and more. It can transform more and more. It says che du yin bichir. It becomes greater. So you have this seeing arise. So the reason for this is so that you see emptiness, basically. So there's an arisal of this seeing, and then there is a transformation that becomes greater and greater in relation to that. Okay, so that's pretty pure. So the last then is the meaning of the sounds, meaning of the words. So why do they say it's a branch of an Arya branch? What's the reason for using these words together to explain what we're talking about?
통문을 렌도 소유는 파바스 팔랑연라서 파바스 가르쳐듯이 통문을 렌도 소마 인상 파바 수주의 산에야 통랑을 파바 인상 파바스
They arrive.
통문을 렌도 소와스
That's good. And they arrive at seeing.
통문을 렌도 소유나
They
파바스
are. Dene Arya.
되는 양알인데비 정체도 신바시비는 랑 랑지 파랑지 수지 인베나 연라지 죄바시비 죄바시 연라지 죄비에서 다다는로 다는 통보를 해도 파랑이나 통보를 손 차대 파랑이나 통보법이 차비해서 파랑이나 통보법이 차자 통보를 해도 송아레스 냥알데비 정체도 신바시비나 랑
They gare. They call it the nyanya. And they David. Tarpa.
당가도 최소를 와가 랑가지요 말베 랑가드
Lesso.
랑가드 최소를 사가 랑가들라 그러다 된도는 최소를 렌저다
Ale, okay, right.
최소를 사 랑레스
Lesso. Selpaldu. Road to Ale. Draw.
팔랑연라서
The road to go to.
통본을 렌저 소용나
Nirvana.
파바스
The road to Nirvana.
냥알데비 정체도 신바시비는 랑 들라데네 탑을 두고 해서 탑이 랑레스
Lesso.
냥알데비 정체도 두고 해서
Lesso.
네 탑이 랑스 그래스
So, lesso.
파랑지 수지 연배연라 그동안도 라버들 연라를 좀 말বে 파랑 수지 파랑 연라도 파랑 수지 파랑이는 파랑 연라 맞아 어디서 그러다
Palangi shuchi yimbe
파랑 연라 파랑 수지로
shuchi
파랑이나 파랑 연라 자고 말로 통랑도 저 파랑으로 파랑 연라 말로 통랑 수지 라버는 아주 매일 연락해서 말하면 르지 수지 이상 연락해서 그러고
shuchi luji shuchi palan shuchi. Okay, so now we get to the meaning of the words. So it's the reason that we say it's a superior branch is that when one reaches the path of seeing, so when one arrives at the path of seeing, he or she then is named superior or Arya or noble one. And this pathway is one that allows you to arrive at nirvana, allows you to go to nirvana, to go to liberation. So Rinpoche gave the example of if you want to go to the Middletown, you have to take a road that goes to Middletown to get there. Likewise, if you want to get to nirvana or liberation, you have to take a pathway which leads to that liberation. And it's saying that this superior pathway, which occurs once one sees emptiness, occurs at the path of seeing, allows you to traverse the stages to become enlightened. And then this is a part where I'm having trouble here. And it's a branch. It's for this reason that it's an instance of a superior path. Therefore, we name it a branch. I think that's a good way to translate it. Because of this, we call it a branch, because it's instances of the superior path. It's a superior path because it achieves the path of seeing. One becomes a superior when they achieve the path of seeing. So that pathway from there on, because they don't change, they're always superiors from then on, are called superior pathways. These are instances of those pathways, so therefore are parts, I think, of those pathways. Therefore, because of that, they're called branches. Wow, this thing's getting roughed up. So because of that, they're called branches, or because of these instances. I think it's instance. Shochik is an instant, I believe. There it is. Ngay sampa dik song ramshesh.
The basic Jewish Tanda Yungu, the Palang Yola to use Palang Yola Jero, Jebute, Palang Yola to Jutu the race, the Palang Yola to Jutu Yudes, Palang Yola Jebute, Palang Yola Yimbi Juten, there is that. Tada, Palang Yola to Jutu Yude, Yantabi Tawa, Palang Yola Jig Tambu to Marbe. Yantabi Tawa Ne, Nyaja to be Tawa, Yantabi. Nyaja to be tawa, Jeta to Yunsu Cheba Shibi La Dance, Yantabi Tawa to Teresa. Nyaja to be tawa, Nyaja to Yunsu Tubaina, Nyaja to be tawa, Jeta goes over the Yunsu Cheba Shibi Las, Yantabi Tawa de Teresa, Tambuchi. La jig no tambut. Ta yang tabi tuba de kandere sene, yang tabi tuba ne, nyaja tubi tawa, jeto tu jen la, kuwa shibi la res. Nyaja tubi toni tu diyo na, ane toni tuba de jen li she guro ta, jen li she nama de jen kuwa marwa ta. Jen lu kuji de, yang tabi tuba de res, yang tabi tuba nyaja tubi tawa, nyaja toni ngusung tu de kentege, Nyaja tuni ngusung tuba de, jen la kuwa shiba de kandere sene, yang tabi tuba ki tuni kuwa shigu res. Yang tabi tuba ne, nyaja tubi tawa, jeta tu jen la kuwa shiba yon las. Yang tabi tubi, nyaja tuni ngusung tuba de, jen la kuwa shiba. Tuba tuba de yon la res, jen la kuwa shiba yon la. Yang tabi nga, lejita, chua sune, chubadro, sune jen, icheba shibiyo la res, yang tabi nga li naba tabi chenpa marbe, yang tabi nga, lejita, tene chua yinba, chua sune, tene nga tu chua dewa yin dunga yisi ya zhuwa. Chua sune, jen icheba shibiyo la res. Tala tene, jen kuwa de, palang yo la yuli yo yinba res na iche ni kuwa ma re. Cheba shibiyo la tang. Yang tabi chua su sune, yang tabi chua dero sun, yang tabi chua, yang tabi chenpa, yang tabi tingen de sun tu marbe. Yang tabi chua,
Dawa.
yang tabi chenpa, yang tabi tingen de sun bu de, ane, yang tabi chua su sun nes, nyebi yo la nduye she, yang tabi chua je, yang tabi chua je, yang tabi chenpa je, yang tabi tingen de sun bu de nyebu res, nyebu, endu dao de. Nyebi yo la nduye she res.
So this sum.
Yang tabi chua tundu je dao, yang tabi chenpa je,
Okay.
yang tabi tingen de sun bu de, nyebi yo la res, nyebi yo la nduye she res.
So Panchen Sonandrapa goes on to explain, there's more and more details about these. So he says that these 8 aspects of the paths of the nobles are explained in the following way. So once, let's see, okay. Yanda Bidawa. So first there's a subsequent realization, that there's a realization that takes place basically of correct view. And then from that there is a correct thought that occurs. So then a correct thought occurs, and then there's a change of view, or a change of a subsequent cognition basically that takes place. So there's then this correct thought that takes place from the correct view, or motivation, you could say, and then from that you have correct speech. Okay, so it says that these 3. Okay, then this sum. Hold on, Yandapi. I just want to make sure. Dots. Yiche bar JB yen la.
yen
Yiche tepa?
yan tabi nga su sung ne yen yi cheba shi yin la yin yan tabi nga leje ta tsuwa sung tu marbe yan tabi nga leje ta tsuwa sung de yen yi cheba shi yin la res ko paba yin ba yi che go ma da yu na yan tabi nga leje ta tsuwa sung bu de ne palang yu la ju la yu bi yi cheba shi yin la yin de 동부 tawa 나다도 이치바시 양다비 tawa 나다도 이치바시스 tawa 나다 요바 이치는 그래스 니비 추진나 양다비가 아니 양다비가 레지타 초화송도 말배 니비 추진나다도 이치바시 손비 되바 총시 유지 요 이치바시 비에서
Just want to look up something. Probably can't.
야 답이 좋아서 손에 내비연라 두셔. 대야 야 답이 나서 손에 제 이시바시면라. 야 답이 나 레제타 좋아서도 말বে. 야 답이 나 레제타 좋아서데 제 이시바시면라 데스. 야 답이 나 동비 떠나다 이시바시. 야 답이 나 되게 네 다와나다 콜 다와나 요바디 이체데 그레스 니비 추진나다 이제면 야다방가 레지타 추진나다 이체바시 손비 너바 촌시 유지 용아 이체바시 베 너바 촌 추시바도 이체는 거면
So then these create conviction, and then it says that livelihood, mindfulness. I wonder why the conclusion of actions isn't in there. Just well, for sure, it says mindfulness. It says livelihood, mindfulness, and meditative stabilization are all part of antidotes. So these all serve as antidotes, whereas the others serve as it's saying faith, conviction, to create conviction. So this conviction is created, and then the others are used as antidotes, specific antidotes. Ngay tsampa digsong, the
what is what
chutsugatsure, deyandapi,
아주저
sum shin, che is jp yende.
대야 답이 나서 손 제 이체바시면라 양 답이가 레지타 소화송부터 제 이체바시면라레스 동비 양 답이 나되게 따와나다도 이체바시 양 답이 레지타되게 추진나다도 이체바시
Ale le tsuchin. Ale. Then I see. Then the
양 답이가 레지타 소화되게
actions.
손비
That's the one I'm
너바
missing.
총신 유지 용어 이체바시베
And
양
then
답이 소화수 손의 내비연라도데스 양 답이 소화 템바 딩엔지 손도 말베 내비연라데스
antidote.
내비연라 예데
Then le tsutrim. Then the tambo sum yiche.
예 이시바시면라데스 동
Okay, so they're either, so that we've got it now. So they're either things that create conviction, and then the conclusion of actions falls categorically under ethics, and then these last three of correct effort, mindfulness, and meditative stabilization serve as an antidote. So the first ones deal with creating conviction, and then the ethical behavior, and then the last three are antidotes. So that's how it's broken down in here, as much as I can tell very quickly looking at it. Digson.
오야
so-
다드네
So that is where we'll conclude. Does anybody have any questions? Yes. Hold on one sec. We've just got to get the mic over to you.
Correct seeing is
Not
that,
one of them.
Is that connected with knowing that we are seeing? is that
Which
like
one are you
when-
speaking of? First of all, I don't have seeing, correct seeing, as any of those 8.
Well, you had correct seeing, but
Seeing emptiness correctly?
yeah, but or there's seeing has it's because there's the seeing that you see an object, then there's the seeing that you see something inside,
Right.
and so there's a on correct seeing, is that with, and then you said the knowing, is there a knowing of seeing that we see? There's a part of that seeing, and then there's the knowing of the seeing.
Okay,
Is
let me
that
just slow it
connected with
down real quickly.
Is the knowing of the seeing like the awareness of that we are seeing?
Okay,
I think that-
these are all English words.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to ask Rinpoche as best I can, but I think that the problem we're having here is just English words that mean things contextually to us normally that they don't mean in this case. So I think that you're speaking of correct view. Under correct
Yeah.
view, we spoke of the correct view is seeing emptiness at the path of seeing. When we're speaking of correct seeing, when we're speaking of that, I don't know that those two words, they might have been strung together when I was translating, but when we speak of seeing in relation to seeing emptiness, it's always correct. So that's first and foremost. And it's not an actual seeing in the sense of visually seeing something, because there is no eye consciousness occurring at that time. It's a non-conceptual realization. We call it seeing emptiness, but it's not, you don't see emptiness. It just is how we as English, we've come up with how to translate realizing emptiness. We say seeing emptiness, but it really is realizing emptiness. And emptiness isn't realized visually. The kongi chua the doni dopi shera, the ngatsu the donlam seeing. Then kongi chua ngatsu seeing the mikshe seeing. Then konsu triwa the doni dopi shera the mik sheba tomba ni tungudu. The kongi triwa the nge tsedu the inji tsik the chugudu. The ngatsu the mikba tomba the kongi triwa.
미기 쉐베 돈이 통해도 상지 상지가 미 쉐베 되게 돈이 통그래서
So there is the Buddha who can, with his or her eye consciousness, see emptiness. So there is a case where we would actually be able to say that the Buddha's eye consciousness perceives emptiness, because all of the Buddha's consciousnesses perceive ultimate and conventional reality simultaneously. But that's not what we're talking about when we say seeing emptiness at the path of seeing. It's called seeing because that's what we've chosen as a word, but it really means realizing it emptiness. Because when you see emptiness, there's no conceptuality.
상지가 미기 쉐베 최단지 통바 맞에 오자도 통그래서 오자.
So even the Buddha's crown protrusion sees all phenomena, knows all phenomena. So we say everything about the Buddha is omniscient. So even the Buddha's crown protrusion knows all phenomena. So because of that, we say that he can see emptiness. But when we speak of the path of seeing, tonlam mi she omare.
짠도 좀 봐왔듯이 짜서 가지고 짜도 말봐. 상지 오자 되게 최단지 생각해.
So even the hair on the head of the Buddha is said to understand all phenomena, is be omniscient of all phenomena. Then kongi trua, the tonlam.
되네. 맞죠? 다 돈이 산다 또 담보 이시셔봐 둘만 가버렸어. 이시셔봐서 산다 뭐 타네. 아니 추가한다 가이나 텐데 초발을 뜨는 조도야. 맞춰봐 라디오에 말했어.
So the way that we understand emptiness is we think about things lack of independence, and we think of their dependent origination. When for ordinary people like us, anything beyond the mental consciousness isn't really possible. So we think about these things mentally. Then a tonlam, the yichi sheba, mipa ton. Miki sheba, yichi sheba, tonlam.
tonlam이나 이시셔봐 임처럼.
This kongi chua. Ngay le dan jap sar. So it's necessarily, Rinpoche is just confirming what I said. When we're speaking of the path of seeing, it's necessarily mental consciousness that is seeing emptiness. There's no eye consciousness seeing anything. It's a mental consciousness that's seeing, realizing, even using those words are tricky because it's not conceptual. There's not this thing that we want to explain that takes place because it's kind of a non-thing that only a superior could really understand. So words are tricky. Words are kind of mixed up because it's not a word. It's a non-conceptual. There aren't words when it happens. There's no thought when it happens in terms of going forward in thought. You're not thinking in the way that you normally would at a coarse level. So it's different. But it's necessarily mental consciousness at the path of seeing. It's a very good question. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. It's tricky. You say, and the word emptiness is a terrible word sometimes too, because it sounds like nothing. And that's just not what emptiness means at all. It means it's so we'll. So you said you need to take a picture? Yeah, Konraga, Langare. And then, oh, it's late. These pictures are good because you can look at it. Again. Make sure I'm. Yeah. Maybe take two just in case, he said. He's going to give it to the Gold Compson.
Maybe up closer.
Gemma nge constant. He thinks he's saying that it's not good. He said he had to make two pictures. He's saying that he doesn't think that you could do one good or something. That's what he just said. He's just joking around. Okay, concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer again. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for your patience. Again, I apologize that it's taking so long to translate this. I wish I had time at home to do it, but life is life. Yeah. Concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of all teachings of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drapa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the three times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, the spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denalam. Lamrim Chenmo Konga Chiralam.